Okay, so welcome again to this session. We are going to discuss KWARGS and ARGS, and welcome back to this session where we are going to explore and facilitate different data analysis and manipulation part, right? So in today's session, I'm going to discuss or introduce you to one of the most popular keyword. This is called KWAGS, means keyword arguments and arguments, right? So it's an incredible keyword or incredible term that empowers data analysts and scientists to efficiently work with data using Python, right? So we are going to discuss that part, right? So whether you are beginner or experienced professional, these terms will be encountered anyhow. The way you handle and manipulate data set, certainly you will be encounter this term, right? So let me copy the first term here. Here I'm going to this one. So this functions with one default arguments, and you have done define functions with more one parameters, and then we are calling this function by passing required number of arguments in this video, and huge last of showing functions argument you will practice this skill writing functions, right? So let me come up with the definition shout echo word, right? So let me define first function, which is the function like define shout echo. I'm going to define this word. This is a user defined function, right? So now I'm having this def is used to create any function, user defined function, and we can use it in it with the custom name. I can use def long, and word one is the first argument, and echo is equal to one is the second argument, and this is equal to one is the by default name, where we are going to concatenate echo copies. Number of times echo will be displayed on the screen, right? I'll show the term, right? So what we are going to concatenate means we are going to multiply this echo as many as times. Suppose echo is equal to 1, so this word will be 1, will be printed times 1 time. If this echo is equal to 5, so this word will be multiplied by word 1. So how we can go for, like, suppose I am having this one, right? And then asterisk 10. So here you can see this first keyword, first string, or first element is multiply 10, because this is not the mathematical term, so it's going to multiply as many as time. So this will be the entire string here, right? So this will be 10 times, it will print 10 times. If I'll give space here, going to run this code here, you can see this such in will be printed 10 times. This is the meaning of this multiplication 10. If this echo is equal to 5, so this word will be printed 5 times. Now it's much clearer, right? Similarly, we can go for the concatenation. Now, once I have given the echo multiply by times, and this second keyword shout word will be equal to echo underscore word, which is we have just defined here, plus this one, right? So let me copy here this one, and suppose I'm having this echo word is equal to this one, and shout word, let me print this one, and also this shout word at the last. Can you see at the last we are concatenated? This is called, this is not addition, but we are concatenate this exclamation sign at the end using this plus symbol, right? Though we have seen the operator overloading also. Like, what is the operator? What is the operator overloading here? Like, here we have exclamation sign and then echo 10 times. This is consisting of 10 times this such it, right? And then shout word, right? Now this Sachin will be concatenate this with this echo word, right? This concatenation sign, right? So what's my next step? Next, finally, I'll return this variable to the outside world, right? To out of this function name, right? So this is my object. This was the one by one, line by line explanation of my function, like user defined function. What exactly we are doing here, right? So let me remove extra space here so that we do not have any confusion. All right. Now I'm going to call shout echo, which we have just defined with hey no echo, right? So here you can see I'm using this shout echo and then hey. So what is hey? Hey will be replaced by word one, right? So word one will be printed here and this no echo will be printed at the last, right? Going to run this one. Hey and exclamation sign, right? It's showing only one times. Why? Because we have printed only, we have given only by default one. So this echo is one. We have not replaced this echo, right? Neither we have passed the second terms. Suppose I'm going to pass echo is equal to 5. Let's see what would be the output now. Can you see this hey is printed 5 times and then exclamation sign. So space and then printed. So hey will be printed 5 times and then exclamation sign will be concatenated. This is the object of our function itself. This is the part, right? Now you understand that what is echo. Let me call this echo in a different way. Let me give like without echo. Will it work? Yes, it's working, right? The second space is reserved for integer number and this integer number will be multiply this my word, right? And this word will be concatenated in the second step with my exclamation sign. So finally I can use this keyword, right? So interview may ask like what is the no echo and with echo, right? We have this word, right? So for this they call it with echo, and with echo means no echo means we don't have any terms, like with echo means we have multiple, like hey kind of echo. So here we have multiple times of same output, right? So this is the object of our function, right? Now let me check, do we have any okay. So the next agenda for this one is to define the second function we are going to discuss, right? So what's the second function here? Define shout echo word 1 echo is equal to 1 intense is equal to false, and then I'm going to concatenate this one echo word is equal to word 1 and then just this one word 1 multiply by echo, right? So this will be echo, right? So I'm going to concatenate each copy of this word 1 every time and then make each echo word uppercase if intense is true. Can you see this intense? By default it is false. I can make changes inside the code also. So I'll create one, this one. Let's see. And here you can see make echo uppercase if intense is true, right? I'll make it true if this is true, right? If it is not true, let me check what else I can do, right? Else I can go for the echo word new plus echo word plus concatenation, right? It will simply printed the same word without the concatenation, right? Without the uppercase, right? So let me remove comment section so that we have clear picture of this. Yes, can you see this function? Crystal clear objective is there. If this sentence is converted or changed inside the function as true, we will have echo word dot upper and then this will be there, and then echo word will be concatenated, right? Then finally we are going to return echo new world to the outside body, right? So here you can see I am not having any error. So I'll get the, I'm ready to call this shout echo with the appropriate value. Here you can see this word 1 and echo is equal to 1. So we have passed this 5, right? And then intense is equal to false, but now we have intense is equal to true, right? We have changed this intense true. This is the reason it's called echo this one, right? So let me copy this variable so that we can have output on the screen. So let me run this one. Can you see this? Hey, let's say I'm going to take long is teaching data science, right? So we have this tech line is teaching data science. Tech line is teaching multiple times. How many times? We have 5 times. First, second, third, fourth, and fifth, right? 5 times we are printing the same statement, but in the uppercase. You can notice, you can underline here that we have written in the lower case, but this is converted into the uppercase. This intense is equal to true, and this with big echo is just printed out, right? Now we can go with without echo, with no echo also, right? So how to call shout with no echo? So I'm having this with echo and with no echo. Here you can see I didn't change the value of this 5. The echo is equal to 1 will be as it is if you are not passing this value. And when intense is equal to true, which means you are converting this intense is equal to false to true, right? So let me print here this one. A will be printed out, right? This will be printed but in the uppercase, because we have intense is equal to true, it should be converted into uppercase, right? So what's the uppercase here? Uppercase is the function, like let's say I'm having this one, like let's say I'm having machine learning dot upper. Can you see this single string is just converted into the uppercase, and here we have output value, right? It can convert, it is having ability to convert any string value into the uppercase. This is the functionality of my case. The time now we are going to move ahead. So what's the next step? We are going to discuss the next step is somewhere about function with variable length. This is the first arguments, right? Arguments args. So till now we have not used any kw args or args, but we have used only the args. We have used only simply first value, right? So let me delete this one, right? So now we are going to call the define another function in the same way. So this is the function name gibberish, and I have given this asterisk args, right? So let's see what's the content of this gibberish here. What's the functionality of this here? Let's say I am going to initialize an empty string called hopscotch, right? So this is very funny name. So we are going to we are good with the hopscotch, right? So you can add any number inside the hopscotch once you are going to concatenate, right? So what we will do, we are going to deploy the for loop inside this function, and inside this for loop we are going to concatenate. Can you see this hopscotch is just being concatenated with the word where we have word in arguments, right? So this is the variable length, right? This is the tuple kind. Arguments is the kind of tuple, right? But inside the tuple we are going to accommodate more than one value, not a single value, but we have n number of values, and one by one we will call all these numbers here. This number will be written out, right? So finally we are going to return this hopscotch number once it has been concatenated, right? So this is just defined. We have this function, right? So finally, what's our next step? We need to call this Gabrish function with one string and one word, right? So here we can see this one word is Luke, or you can see you can call it like Sachin, right? Or Jyoti, or any name you can call inside this, right? So I'm going to run this code. You can see this is just okay. Let me print this number also, and we will have this first number, right? But what if we will have more than one numbers, more than one value inside the same function? So we will call it many words, and these many words will be passed inside the same function. But in the above case, you can see this is very constant, like it's a very restrict, though you can change the value of particular argument, whether it is instance is equal to true or false. You can either have the value of true or false, it hardly matters. You can have a string value in here, but there should be one string value. You can have echo value 10 or 100, but here will be only 3 arguments. Less than 3, only one, at least one argument for this word 1 you will have to pass inside the shout echo. But echo 1 you can change this value, intense you can change this value, but you can give maximum 3 variable, right? But not more than 3 or less than 1. This is the limitation of this without arguments or asterisk argument or double asterisk arguments, right? Keywords argument. Here we can pass multiple words, and you can see this is going to concatenate each words one by one. This is the beauty of my asterisk args, right? We can pass as many as word, right? Let me give the space here, right? Suppose I am giving the same number, going to repeat the same number, giving the comma, and then will print the same number again. Can you see this? Luke, Leah, Hen, Obi, Darth. Now Luke, Leah, Hen, Obi, Darth is repeating one more time. So these parameters are concatenated. If you give 100 parameters, if you give 200, 1000 string value, it will concatenate. Here this will go into the for loop, and this hotspot initially will be empty, and it will print, it will add more numbers, as many as number we have inside the arguments, right? Args, here you can see word in args. It will seek the word inside the tuple of args, and it will add all these numbers one by one, right? This is the beauty of my function variable. Now can I have variable length, right? So we can have variable length. Okay, so before that we can check any doubt, right? So keywords kwargs is different from awargs. That's the keywords, right? And we can have the different value, right? Now I'm going to define another report status, another function. This function is different from garbage value, and let me define some report status here. So this is report status consists of double asterisk kwargs, and inside this kwargs I'm going to print out the status of my report, right? So here we have begin report. First this begin report will be printed out. So what would be the next step? Next step will be iteration, because in the previous function also we have seen this iteration part, this for loop. In this part also we will have iterate over key value pairs of kwargs, and then we will have respective for key in kwargs dot items, right? So print out the key value and separate it by colon. So this is key. So what is key here? We will see that what is the key here, what is the value here. Actually this kwargs is dictionary. Can you see? Here we will have dictionary. So we know that inside the dictionary we will have two things. We are having two things. First is key, second is value. So we are going to retrieve key and value using the same iteration function, iteration loop, right? So here we have print, and then finally we are going to print and report. So here we have initial, begin report and end report. If I'm going to delete, allow me to delete the comment section, we have just 4 line of code. Inside this for loop we have this print, and finally out of the iterating part we have just print and report. I'm going to run this code, right? Then first we are going to call the report status with the first name, affiliation and the status. So here you can see this is the first call of my report status, which is the name. Let's say this is the Sachin, and then affiliation is, let's say, tutor, right? This is the tutor, and status, let's say I teach online. So this is the online status, and I'm going to define this report status, and let me run this code. Can you see this is going to print report name Sachin, affiliation is tutor, and status is equal to online. So this is the way we can print the value, and we can go for the output for the same, right? Here we can go for the screen. This was the introduction of this keyword values, and we can have dive deep into the fundamental of this KW or GS also, and from the basic data structure like dictionary, uh, pandas, and this like another like tuple, we can use the same output here inside the KWRGS, right? And we can use this purpose for cleaning, for transforming and visualization, and we can cover different aspects also, right? Okay, so what if we are going to assign some other function? Let me give this report status Anakin 6 crore and decrease. Here you can see it's showing this number, right? Okay, can I have this more number? Let's say they are asking for the age, so I want to add more attributes. So let's say this age is 31, right? So they want to add more, let's say my contact number, more attributes, right? So my contact number is equal to 890960, right? They want to add my address also. So my address is equal to New Delhi. So it will be printed in the next report. Can you see? Oh, did I give any other status? Okay, I'll have to pass into the string value, concatenate, wrap into the string again. So here we have age is equal to 31. With respect to contact, we have contact number, address we have New Delhi, and affiliation 6 Lord and disease and so on, right? In case you want to add the first name, right, or the affiliation, or the like surname, right? So let's say I'm having surname is equal to doctor, right? You want to add doctor before any name, right? So it will give surname doctor, name Anakim, affiliation this one, status this one. You can add more numbers, like it's giving variable length and the respective way, which is not possible in the arguments here, right? We have only one number. We can concatenate or print and perform different operations, but we cannot initialize the argument. We can initialize the multiple values, pass multiple values, but not the multiple multiple different numbers, right? Suppose we want to add the nationality in the same function. The nationality will be, let's say, Indian. So I'm going to add this nationality, run this code, and at the last of this report, you just have nationality Indian, right? And finally, we are going to end this report, right? So this was the ultimate guide to dominating this or denominate this KWARGS and ARGS, and we can use this data analytics and using pythons and different operations, right? Here we have like different operations, different skills we are going to work upon, right?